So let's go ahead and get into it. So this is Oak Bluffs, Massachusetts, Martha's Vineyard. Now, there is no fatigue here. All right, there's no black fatigue here. There's only beauty. There's only families. There's only professionals. There are only doctors. There are only lawyers. There are only professors. There are only accountants. There are only finance people. That's what you find down here. Families enjoying themselves. Listen, Oak Bluffs has been a haven of black wealth in this country for 100 years, and I love it so very much. My wife is here. We love it. In fact, I'll be going back home today, but then we'll be back, God willing, in a week to actually enjoy ourselves, because we will be spending a week here through 4th of July. It's going to be beautiful. But you know what? If you know how to act, come on down to Oak Bluffs. We'd love to have, at least I would, love to have people coming down seeing this. This is beautiful. You know what? A lot of times in the media, we get inundated with negativity regarding black people. Well, come on down to Oak Bluffs and see what's going on down here. But remember, you got to come down here. You got to know how to act. But I love it. Black wealth, elite black wealth. But you know what? What we don't do is look down on everybody else. What we do is help everybody else, because we want more to come down here. Anyways, continue to follow me. I am a professor, a teacher, and a financial coach, bringing financial education to the urban community and beyond. See you soon.
Nigga to go there, I don't want to go. If you have to give me a disclaimer just because I'm black that I need to act a certain kind of way, you ain't gotta worry about it. I don't need to be there. And that man who made the post about coming to Oak Bluffs, I'm sure he's a nice man. I'm sure he's a very nice man. However, I don't understand how y'all are not seeing. Well, I do understand. A lot of us still have this mentality, still have this perception that we can perform our way out of racism. And I fear that, like, y'all are not connecting the dots.
So all he said is that basically, in a nutshell, and he said it very, very nicely, that Oak Bluffs is a place of historical significance when it comes to black wealth. And if you are going to pull up there, then you're going to have to act accordingly, and you can't be on any kind of black fatigue type of time. Because contrary to popular belief, there are black people that don't necessarily rock with bad parts of the culture, that embrace things like luxury and niceness. But now you got people getting mad at him and saying, hey, why you ain't inviting us to the barbecue? And I think that this is so funny, because when white people say it, or when Asian people say it, or when Hispanic people or whoever, right, they say it and they say, listen, we don't want to be associated with the worst parts of it, then people get all up in arms. And now it's other black people that are basically saying, listen, we rock with you, but we just don't rock with some of the things that you stand for. And so we don't want to ruin 100-year history, or we're not interested in this being a part of this part of the culture. And so as a result, you're going to have to act accordingly. And now you got people like this and multiple different people, whole comment sections, think pieces that are rejecting what he's saying. And again, I don't think that he said anything disrespectful, anything wild, weird, or whatever. But if you can't act how you're supposed to act, and let's be very, very transparent here. I don't see what the problem is by saying that you need to act the way that you're supposed to act without being ghetto, without tearing stuff up, without bringing guns, without being super loud rap music that's not going to be beneficial or conducive to the environment. This is a place of history, and I don't plan on going anytime soon. It's not a place that I think that I need to pull up to. Matter of fact, I think that him saying it brings more visibility to it, and now you probably are going to attract a certain element. But people in black culture are getting offended because he's saying that you need to act accordingly if you are going to be in a certain place, and we want you to have wealth. We want you to enjoy these places. We want you to integrate yourself into a place that may be an opportunity for you to network effectively. However, just leave the ghetto stuff at home and people are automatically offended, and this just shows you the state of the culture.
Like throughout history, no matter what we did, no matter what we accomplished, no matter what we gave, it wasn't enough. So if you are a black person and you move to an area that I'm assuming is predominantly white, because those are usually the only areas where a black person like that feels like they need to tell other black people, oh, make sure you act right when you come. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go. I don't even understand why y'all still aspire to be in predominantly white areas, spaces. Like,
Message accomplished then. I think that it's okay to offend people. And when you want to be very direct and you want to say, hey, listen, this ain't for a certain demographic. If they get offended and saying, okay, well, I don't want to go there, then that means that mission is accomplished.
But yeah, no matter what, it's not going to be about whether or not you know how to act. That's the bigger picture. And the message that was sent was, I need to tell y'all how to act before y'all come out here because y'all are black and y'all have no home training.
Easily
There's a
offended at
creator on
everything.
here who was talking about Oak Bluffs and fatigue and whatnot. And as someone who lives in a gated community, in a community similar to Oaks Bluff, but with a lot of white people, I can comment that for sure you do need to know how to behave where you are. And there is nothing wrong with telling people like, yo, behave. Because not all behaviors are acceptable everywhere. And this is part of the problem. Some people take being unapologetically who you are as an excuse to misbehave, as an excuse to pretty much act any kind of way. And the problem is certain situations call for certain behaviors just because of everybody who's worked hard to be in these positions don't want to have to endure with certain things. They work hard to get away from them, right? So there's nothing wrong with telling people like, yo, you can come here and you're going to see everybody here doing well. You're going to see everybody here behaving, but you need to also behave. You need to also adopt the mentality of this place. And it's not racist and it's not a dog whistle.
How is it racist for a black person to tell another black person the historical significance of a predominantly black place where black wealth exists and saying that you need to act accordingly? And when in Rome, do as Romans do, or else you probably won't really benefit from here. How is that racist? You know what I'm saying? I mean, aside from the bonnet, he's 100% correct.
Say that.
That man said, if you know how to act, come on down to Oak Bluffs, okay? That's what he said. And he said what he said and he meant it. And I must agree. But some of y'all got so offended saying he could have said that better. You ain't have to say it like that. And I'm confused because what is your problem with an adult telling another adult, hey, this is a luxurious place. This is a high-end place. And if you know how to act, wink, wink, come on down. Because certain actions and behaviors are going to be unacceptable here. And so I'm like, for you to be so offended, like, baby, you clearly don't know how to act sometimes. And you're so triggered by somebody addressing the fact that you don't know how to act sometimes because you feel like you should be able to act how you want to act wherever you go, that you're going to say something here. That man said, this is a beautiful place with beautiful black people, beautiful, wealthy, elite black people. He said, each one teach one. We don't put anyone down.
I don't even necessarily care to just like segregate and separate, but I understand the history and I respect it in these places. And so I know that I'm supposed to move according. When we go out of town, right? If you go to certain countries, you act accordingly, according to the culture, so that you don't get yourself in a situation, a sticky situation that's not going to be good for you. Why is it any different? Why can't we have any standards? And I'm not just talking in Oak Bluffs in general, but just in across the board. Why can't there be an expectation and a standard for people to carry themselves accordingly? I don't understand that.
Again, wink, wink, come through, meet some people, network, learn, get some opportunities. But oh no, you're offended. Stay your ass at home.
The conversation of Oak Bluffs has circled around yet again to talk about the Jack and Jills, wealthy elites and upper class individuals. And the debate is currently whether or not the individuals within this community are pushing white supremacist rhetoric when we talk about decorum and the expectation of certain behaviors within these communities. So I don't personally have a problem with establishing what decorum looks like, what it feels like, and what it's not. Who is located on Martha's Vineyard, whether there's doctors, lawyers, like people who are considered to be of black excellence, right? And then he made a comparison, like we aren't Carnival Cruise. Because Carnival Cruise, let's just be honest, you're going to do ratchet hood things with your friends on Carnival Cruise. Also think that it triggers people's internalized, confirmation biases, but is it classist? I do think there is a hinge of classism within these conversations. When are we going to criticize and critique maladaptive behavior that comes with doing ratchet hood things with your homegirls? Ratchet hood culture, people just equate that to being in poverty, and that's not the case. You can be in poverty and have class. But people equate the two with each other. So if you're talking about hood culture, then you're talking about me because I grew up in poverty, or I grew up in the hood, which is a place where people typically are in poverty, and they can't separate the two. It's okay to separate yourself from hood culture even though you grew up in poverty. And I think that's the issue, because I would love to be around people, any people. I don't care what your social class is. I would like to be around people who have decorum.
And I don't see anything wrong with what she's saying. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'll holler at you guys later. Peace.